Hello everybody, welcome to another edition of Dog News, and seeing as it's Valentine's Day today, the 14th of February, we're going to be looking at some love stuff for our dogs and all that sort of stuff, so stay tuned for that. There's a real fun one as well where you can find out your dog's love name for Valentine's Day, and also we're going to be looking at some more serious news that's been going on in this last week, and there's also a good report in a paper that's come out about how many dogs would it take to change a light bulb. So it covers a couple, I'm not going to go through them all because there's too many, but it covers a couple of the breeds that it would take to change a light bulb and how their breed related attitude to life would relate to that. So it says here, the golden retriever, the sun is shining, the day is young, we've got our whole lives ahead of us, and you're inside worrying about a stupid burnt out light bulb. That's quite good for a golden retriever, isn't it? A border collie would say, just one, and then I'll replace any wiring that's not up to the code. A Dachshund might say, for changing the light bulb, you know, I can't reach that stupid lamp. A Rottweiler might say, make me. That's good, I like that one. Let's have a look at a couple more. A boxer, so you'd ask a boxer to change a light bulb and the boxer would say, who cares, I can still play with my squeaky toy in the dark. Has anybody got dogs that would relate to this? And then a German Shepherd might say, I'll change it as soon as I've led these people from the dark. Check to make sure I haven't missed any, and then make just one more perimeter patrol and see that no one has tried. And then he'll change the light bulb. Shall I give you one more? Let's have a look. A Cocker Spaniel might say, why change it? I can still pee on the carpet in the dark. Anyway, that's a bit of fun. So, with Valentine's Day coming up, well, actually it's Valentine's today when you're watching this, so why do dogs make the best Valentines for us? Let's have a little look, shall we? So the number 5 reason, they show that they love you every single day. There's not a day goes by where a dog doesn't show its love to you, is there? It's unconditional love, which you get from very few else. So yeah, that's in at number 5. And number 4, it's cute when they snore. That's a strange one. Okay, that's why they're Valentines, all right? It is cute when they snore, it's funny. You never have to share your chocolates with them. That's a good one for number 3. So dogs can't eat chocolate, obviously. Number 2, no one gives better cuddles. I like that. And in at number 1, they're the best listener ever. Which makes sense because they don't talk back, do they? So they can sit and listen to us talking to them all the time. So that's why our dogs make better Valentines. It's good. Now, if you're looking to do the best Valentine's gift ever, I'm not talking about for your other half, I'm talking about for the animal, then there's nothing better than rescuing a dog. There's loads of dog rescues around. There's smaller ones, local ones that are supported by local charity and people donating. There's the larger ones like Dog Trust. And there are so many dogs that are in rescue at the moment. You can even go abroad and rescue from abroad as well, which can sometimes be easier than rescuing from here when you do all the questionnaire and everything. So one of the great things to do for a dog is to rescue it. I've got 2 at the moment. One of them's adopted more than rescue. The other one's a rescue. And there's nothing more rewarding than knowing that they're happy in their lives and everything like that. And it's a great thing to do. So maybe on Valentine's Day, show your own heart and maybe look at taking a new dog on. But only do it if you can commit your life to it. Give it a forever home forever. Be patient with it because a lot of rescue dogs need that patience. And know that it's the right time for you as well. But if all them boxes are ticked, then why not rescue a dog and save a little life? Because when they're in those kennels, it is so sad for them. They're so bored and so lonely in there. And they're naturally an animal that needs to be around us or other dogs. And yeah, great thing to do. So make a dog's Valentine and give it a rescue maybe, or start thinking about it. So a new report in about our dogs, and it's also connected to Valentine's as well, because it's all about love. And it says 45% of us would rather cuddle up on the couch with our four-legged friend than pursue a potential romance. Almost half of dog owners would prefer to spend time with their pet than go on a date, the survey found. Exactly 45% would rather cuddle up on the couch, whereas 33% reckon they're more compatible with their pooch than they are a partner. Insist that they would not be in a relationship with someone who doesn't like dogs, and 54% say they found more comfort with their dog than in humans. So how do you relate to that? I can honestly say I've been happily married for 31 years nearly, and but I must admit, having our dogs in our lives just makes it extra special to share that time with them, but they do give the best cuddles. Now, some news out this week, which is quite serious for our dogs. The product xylitol, which can be found in so many different products, toothpaste, free gums, mints, candy, or sweets to us in England. Xylitol is commonly used as a substitute for sugar. It's a natural sugar alcohol derived from plants, but it is highly toxic to our dogs. So we have to be so careful that our dogs don't pick up a product which could have xylitol in it. And I know there's some peanut butters around which have xylitol in. So whenever you give your dog peanut butter, just check the label to see that there's no xylitol in it, that it's a clear one and a natural one, which is much better. But the more worrying thing is the companies that use xylitol are starting to use a much more tamer word. So people are looking for the xylitol name on the ingredients list and finding it and then saying, okay, I won't use that for my dog because it's highly toxic. But now it's being rebranded as birch sugar, BIRCH, birch sugar. One of the new natural names marketing to hide xylitol in all sorts of our products. Also, they use the name birch sap, birch bark extract, or wood sugar. So if you see any of them names pop up on a label that you might be giving to your dog, just be so careful, because even the tiniest amount of xylitol or birch sap, birch bark, wood sugar, or birch sugar, whatever they want to brand it as now to try and dupe us into not finding the name xylitol, it'll just kill our dogs. So you have to be so careful. So before you give them any product that, you know, might be, or even something, you know, keep stuff out of the way that's got those sort of products in it so dogs don't get hold of them. But if it is peanut butter or something similar like that, just be extra careful that you're not being duped by the name xylitol being taken off of it now and they've replaced it with these names. Now, I don't want to become political on here or anything like that, because I just like sharing the dog news in general. But I did see a story in the paper this week about, and the title was Racist Dogs. There you go. Are dogs racist? There's a debate for another time. But this whole woke madness has been brought up to another level by a government-funded study. I mean, what are they wasting our money on? A government-funded study says dogs should be banned from the countryside over risk of offending minorities. It's unbelievable. So I did a little bit of digging into this, and there's a few cultures that are, you know, we're a very, very multicultural country, and there's some cultures that don't like dogs. They find them in their culture dirty or demonic and all these sort of things. So this government study is trying to appease those people, but forgets about the 1 in 3 households that own a dog in this country, that adore our dogs. And the fact that they're thinking about starting to ban dogs out of this country is quite unbelievable. And I'm sure it will lead to some serious trouble if that happens, if they even suggested it. So that's a story in the paper this week. Yeah, thank you to the Labour government for spending our money on that wonderful, wonderful, wonderful study. Now, this next story isn't about dogs, but it can involve our dogs, so we need to be aware of it. And the news this week has released some stories about snakes that are growing in our countryside now and in our areas, and they're up to 2 meters long. Oh, I've got the visit from the cat. There you go. Who's that? Look. This is Missy. She's gorgeous. She's 12 years old. She's tiny, isn't she? A beautiful girl, aren't you? Hey. So these snakes can grow up to 2 meters long, which is huge for this country. Adders don't get anywhere near that size, and they're called, excuse my pronunciation, but it's Asclepian snakes, and they've come in. They've basically been owned domestically at some point, but there's been a couple of escapees from London Zoo, so they're in the Regent and London area. And also they've been found wild in North Wales, where people have owned them and they've escaped, or they've gone into the ecosystem and started to breed now. And they are starting to be traced and found in other parts of the country. So just be aware when in the summertime, at the moment, obviously snakes lay dormant, but they are trying to find their way into places that are warm. So they'll find their way into a home or a garage or a shed or something like that. They're not venomous, but obviously being a 2 meter long snake, which is what, 7 foot tall, 7 foot long, sorry. Hopefully they won't stand up. But yeah, it's just obviously quite a big animal to come across, a big reptile to deal with. So, and if you've got your dog with you, it could end up being a bit risky, but nothing to be scared of. There's not that many around, but they are saying they're now in our ecosystem and they're starting to breed. So who knows if they're going to spread across the country. At the moment, they're more pinpointed to around the Regent area of London, and into the sort of greener areas around that way, and also North Wales. So seeing as it's Valentine's Day, here's a fun one to do with your dog. So we're going to find out your Valentine name for your dog, okay? So what I'm going to put a graphic up on the screen so you can have a look and pause it if you need to have a look. So what we're going to do is take the first letter of your dog's name to give the first name, and then the month of their birthday for their second name. So my dog Bumble, I'll put a picture up, he's a Springer Spaniel. So I looked up and his name would be Floofer de Fuzzlove. Floofer de Fuzzlove. So it's a bit of fun, isn't it? So have a look at this graphic I'm going to put up now, and I'll leave it up for a few seconds so you can pause it and have a little play around with it and find out what your dog's Valentine love name is, and then leave it in the comments below because it'd be fun to find out. That'd be really good. So have you ever thought about where St. Valentine's came from, or why we celebrate it or look at it as a love day? Well, St. Valentine was imprisoned and beheaded and buried on the 14th of February 269 AD, a long time ago. And what he was doing was helping persecuted Christians and marrying Christian couples. And while in prison, he prayed for his jailer's daughter and her blindness was healed. On the day of his execution, he left her a note signed, "Your Valentine." And that's where it comes from. Lovely, isn't it? Now this next story is quite sad and quite disturbing really, and it's in the Essex area of England in the UK, and I'm going to have to read it because it's quite a long story. And it says, a dangerous individual, Wayne Clark, is targeting dog owners by setting up fake companies to steal their beloved pets. He has already scammed at least 4 families in the Essex area, taking both their money and their dogs. His previous company, called Country Life Dog Training, remember that, has now been replaced by a new scam operation. The Dog Guy, that's the new one. So if you see anything to do with Country Life Dog Training or the Dog Guy, stay well away and even report to the police if you see it. His wife Hayley is also involved in this. She's listed as the director of Company's House for Country Life Dog Services, and he is listed as the director of Company's House for the Dog Guy Essex Limited. He's offering dog training, boarding, and possible other services such as dog walking, all as a way to get his hands on your pet. Once your dog is in his care, he will not return them. This criminal is preying on trusting dog owners, and the only way to stop him is to spread the word. Don't think this can't happen to you. Your dog could be next. What can you do? Tell everyone about this story. Tell your friends. Tell everyone. Because it can happen to anybody. We can all get duped, can't we? And his name is Wayne Clark. And his wife is Hayley Clark. So if you hear those names, if you hear those two businesses, the Dog Guy or Country Life Dog Training, report it to the police. Tell everybody you know in the Essex area or beyond, because they're probably operating beyond, that they are going to steal your dog and take your money for doing the services, but then don't give your dog back and then sell the dog on. Absolutely awful. So just be aware of that. Now, we all love our dog breeds, don't we? We love the different types. That's why we love our dogs. There's so many different sorts of dogs we can get hold of and fall in love with. For me, in my adult lifetime, I've had 2 Westies, and then we had 3 Yorkies who lived all their old life, and now we have 2 Springers, which have come to us slightly differently, because the others all came from puppy. Oh no, one of the Westies was a rescue. The others were all from puppy. Whereas our 2 Springers now, I've adopted one from a beautiful family who just couldn't have him, and the other we rescued. So we all love our dog breeds, don't we? So what is the number 1 dog breed in the world? And then the number 1 is, can we guess it? Yeah, you probably guessed it. The Labrador Retriever. Labradors have always been around number 1 in the world because they're just such an easy, amenable dog to bring into the household, bring into a family with children, and they're incredibly intelligent as well. So they are a fun dog to have around. Don't get me wrong, they can be hard work. Like 1 to 4 years old can be really challenging because they are seriously energetic dogs, and because they're highly intelligent, they need to be stimulated all the time. But they are just a wonderful, beautiful dog, and obviously they get trained to work in roles like blind guide dogs, sniffer dogs, airport dogs, and things like that. So they're a wonderful breed, and they're number 1 in the world. So a wonderful story's just come in, and it's really good news for people that have been an advocate of this for a long time and trying to have it stopped. And the news has come in that South Korea has passed legislation to ban the dog meat industry by 2027. So even though it still seems a long way away, 2 years, it's such great news. So in 2 years' time, the dog meat industry in Korea, South Korea, will be gone. Great news. Love that. Now in America, they have a dog show called the Westminster Dog Show, which is a very prestigious dog show, a little bit like our Crufts over here in England. And this year, a giant Schnauzer won it, and he's called Monty, which is just lovely news. Monty was the first of his breed to win the top prize. Now, news in Scotland. If you're a dog owner who doesn't pick up after their dog when they do a poop, shame on you to start with, but also be aware that Aberdeen, their council, has hired a private company to deal with dog fouling. So you might be being watched, or you might have someone on the street who actually catches you letting your dog poo and you don't pick up after it. Just be warned, that's in Scotland. So I know it's been the dog news, but I've been assisted by Missy here today. She's been my little helper, sitting in on the filming. And just want to say thank you so much for watching. and share it with everyone, because I love sharing the dog news. It's really interesting. You don't hear much good news or stories about our animals on the news, do you? Very rarely they come up. And yeah, thanks so much for watching, and I'll release another video on Sunday. I'll release some shorts during the week, so there's always something to watch. I love dogs, so I'm hoping that relays to you guys as well. So see you on the next one. Take care.